Hello, I'm Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels. Today we're going to be talking about three different Mitchell reels. This one, I thought was a Mitchell 300 when I first saw it. And I thought it was a 301 is what I thought it was. Until I got to looking at it, and no, it's not a 301, it's a 401. So I managed to get this reel cleaned up last night, and it seems to work pretty nice. It's a nice reel. And I don't use reels that operate this way. So if anybody out there is looking for a nice Mitchell 401 high-speed reel, let me know. I can hook you up. Okay. Next, I had these two Mitchell 300s. And this is your old style, original Mitchell 300, made in France. That's been the go-to reel for a lot of people for a lot of years. And apparently the guy that I bought out the estate on was the same way, because he had 16 of these, or what I thought was 16 of these. One of them was this one, this Mitchell 300. And it turns out this Mitchell 300 is not a made in France reel. This is a made in Taiwan Mitchell 300. And it's got some differences. When you open it up and take it apart, there are some very distinct differences in it. One of the things is this handle right here. See how the handle is much more pronounced on its bend, okay, which I actually kind of like. It moves it out a little bit, away from the spinner head a little bit. One of the things is that all of the screws in this thing are Phillips screws instead of the flat common screws that are on the original Mitchell 300. There we go. Trying to get it in there. One of the other things is the spools actually look different. They made, for the original Mitchell 300s, they made two different spools. One was a one like this that held a lot of line, and one, I don't happen to have one right here with me at the moment, but it was only came out about this far. It was for a short spool for like fishing ponds and stuff. So you didn't have to use and waste all that line on fishing in a small pond or something with all that line. So, however, the one on the Taiwan made is in between. It's not way out here like the original pond version, and it's not way in here like this. However, they are interchangeable. You can take this one or this one and put it on a 300, and you can take this one and put it on this other, the Taiwan made Mitchell 300. I want to discuss a few of the other differences, and for that we're going to go away from this format and get back to showing you overview. All right. Okay, I'm going to pop these two open real quick. All right, one of the huge differences between this reel and this reel is that this reel, the Taiwan made, actually has a side cover seal built into it. And I had never seen that in a Mitchell 300 before. So that is one difference. Another difference is in the pinion gears between these two. Completely different design, which means that the spools themselves are also completely different. See the straight cut gear versus the bevel cut of the original. And then the other thing is going to be this anti-reverse right here. If you look at this one, when you flip it over, this arm comes over, you've got a lever here, and you've got a spring right here that holds that against there. And that's your anti-reverse. Well, in the Taiwan made, there is no spring for the anti-reverse. The only spring is on the tensioner right here for the lever, but the anti-reverse mechanism itself does not have a spring. It simply runs on the tension. Well, I guess you can call that a spring. It's like a lot of bait casters have got that clip style anti-reverse. Well, they've modified and used that same kind of design in this. That squeezes hold of that gear, and that's how that anti-reverse works. So those, oh, and one other difference, and this is, all of those I'm okay with. They were actually halfway decent modifications. They're slightly changed. This one is much quieter than the original 300 with that gear design. But the one thing I don't like about this reel are bail on this one. It's fairly solid, little bit substantial. The bail release, sorry, bail release arm. That's actually, that one's still not that great. But this one, it's thinner. Matter of fact, let's find out how much thinner. Okay, that one is 60 thousandths thick. And that one's about 55 thousandths thick. So they took out 5 thousandths on the thickness. And that doesn't seem like much, but when you, or it doesn't sound like much, but when you look at it, it seems to make a real difference. It just seems a lot flimsier. Maybe not. Maybe it's just my imagination, but it just looks so much thinner. But if you look at them, they both seem to move just about the same amount. So maybe it's not that big a difference. But anyway, I wanted to show you the difference between this Taiwan-made and this France-made Mitchell 300. And I'm going to slap them back together real quick and end this video. So what does that tell us? It tells us that if you've got an old Mitchell 302 and you see a Mitchell 300 made in China or made in Taiwan fishing reel, that you can't really go buy this one and use it for parts for this one. There's not much of anything on these that are interchangeable. I haven't gone through tried to swap things like the side plate or anything like that, but everything in there is just a little bit different. In addition to the things that I've told you already that's different, the original Mitchells came with a gear ratio of 3.75, and this guy's got a gear ratio of 4.2. So it's a faster retrieve. So, but I just wanted to point those differences out to you. And I am going to have, by the time I'm getting done with all this, probably 10 to 15 of these Mitchell 300s cleaned up and ready to go. And the ones I'm getting rid of are, the Taiwan made one, of course, I'm getting rid of. But the ones that show some road rash like this, where it's kind of eaten up, the reels perform well. And I just really don't want to hang on to those. They work well. So if anybody out there is interested in picking up some road rashed and slightly corroded Mitchell 300s, let me know. I'm going to be moving those on. And for now, that's Rick Stivers with Young Martin's Reels, signing out.